Hi, I'm Iyan Breese with IB Training.
I'm Casey Arnold with Unparalleled Performance.
Today we're at Professional Fitness Institute. We're going to talk to you about cardiovascular training versus resistance training and trying to find a balance between both.
Yes.
Casey, a lot of complications that I've had with some of my clients is they prefer to focus on cardio training or resistance training instead of having a balance. What are some of the issues with focusing on more of one than the other?
That's an interesting question because this is something that we face every single day with people not understanding what can be the benefits or the disadvantages to just focusing on one type of training. Cardiovascular training is great for heart health. It's great for muscular endurance. Strength training is great for building lean muscle mass, and it's also great for making the heart stronger. But let's finding a good balance because too much of one thing can't always be the best thing. So making sure that we have a balance, because what are the detrimental effects to just doing cardio on you?
Yeah.
Long, slow distance cardio, that is.
A lot of people lose lean muscle mass because they're not taking in enough protein in their diets to maintain, or are they maintaining a resistance training with their cardio training, so they're burning through most of their lean muscle, or it's deteriorating and not maintaining. Some of what we've had with our Renewed Life clients is we kind of showed them that. We did from one body composition test to another. We focused more on cardio training, and they lost tremendous amounts of lean muscle, and that's not what we wanted. But we wanted to show them that if they did more cardio training compared to resistance training, what would happen and why it was important. And yes, they lost body fat, but they lost tremendous amounts of lean muscle, like 5 to 10 pounds of lean muscle. And they were like, what's going on?
Right.
So it was a great wake-up call to show them that you cannot just focus on cardio training, especially if you're trying to build or maintain lean muscle.
Right.
When you go to the other factor and you work on resistance training, a lot of the resistance training is just building muscle, but you're not getting the cardiovascular benefits or helping increase your VO2 max, so you're taking in more oxygen, getting all that carbon dioxide out. And a lot of people do one or the other, and they don't balance them out.
Absolutely.
What are some of the things that you've seen from some of your clients that you've had to work on with them?
Right, I've seen it. The more that I see is more those, what we like to call cardio junkies, that just they get into a trend and they get into a state of mind that they have to do cardio. Well, that's a good thing to want to do cardio, but you don't have to do cardio. You want to have a very balanced diet and training. So maintaining a training program that has both cardio and resistance training combined. And what I've seen with my clients that I've been able to manipulate their training programs so that they can see the difference in maintaining strength training and cardiovascular training. They have an overall better physique and they overall feel better as a person.
Now, I know when I first got into actually taking care of myself and exercising, it was strictly powerlifting, no cardio. When I started to add cardio to my program, I started to see a decrease in my strength. Why is that, Casey?
Because you're going to start seeing a decrease in your strength when you're doing cardio, because that actually breaks down lean muscle mass. So if you want to maintain the lean muscle mass, you have to super compensate the strength training with your cardio. So not too much. So there's a very thin line for balance between cardio and strength training.
When I finally got the balance that we're talking about, I was up to running 3 miles a day and still powerlifting and gaining strength, because I had a great balance that I was allowing my heart, my cardiovascular, to maintain the intake that I needed to start utilizing fat. And then the resistance training, I wasn't tearing down my muscles by overdoing the cardio, but I was actually building and maintaining the lean muscle through my powerlifting, my resistance training.
And that's a great tool. So as you can see, this is one example of how Iyan found balance in cardiovascular training and strength training. So now how do we help you find that balance in cardio and strength training? The number one thing is you don't want to overtrain. So always make sure you're taking at least 1 day of rest per week.
Right.
And make sure you're incorporating cardio and strength training into your daily training programs.
Now, most people are restricted on time. We understand that as trainers, that I don't have a whole lot of time, but I want to feel better. Alternate days. 1 day cardio, the next day resistance training.
Yes.
If you have a little bit more time, some people do their cardio first and then resistance training within an hour time. I prefer always doing my resistance training first, so I had enough energy to do my couple miles at the end of my training. What's your ideas, Casey? What are some of the things you've done?
That's exactly, basically what you said, Ian. It's incorporating, if you only have time for half-hour training sessions, then incorporating cardio into the strength training is a really huge benefit. So that you can incorporate your cardio in that, having smaller rest periods during the strength training, and really making it more of a cardiovascular strength training program rather than just specifically strength training programs. Also, like Ian said, making sure if you do have an hour to train that you're giving an even, well-balanced schedule between your cardiovascular training and your strength training.
What are the benefits of one or the other, or doing them both?
The benefits of doing them both is complete and total wellness. It's having that lean muscle mass, it's having that cardiovascular strength, that flexibility in your system, and overall feeling better. That's the true benefit of mastering cardio and strength training together. If you just were to do cardio, you're going to be a VO2 max in a cardio machine. However, you're not going to have the lean muscle mass, or you'll have that what we call skinny fat look. If you just do strength training, you won't have that same heart health as you would if you just did cardio.
Skinny fat. I love that term. And most people don't really know what it means. Just because you're skinny doesn't mean that you're skinny. You can actually have more fat percentage, body fat-wise, than you do lean muscle. And a lot of people that say, well, I'm skinny, are you really skinny? Because you could have more body fat than lean muscle, and you would be considered fat.
Absolutely. So make sure you're maintaining that balance between cardiovascular training and resistance training.
Resistance training burns 3 times the amount of calories as cardio. So that's another good reason why to do resistance training with your cardio, because it's not really utilizing fat, but the calories in are getting used through building muscle and maintaining that muscle, compared to when you add cardio, now you're utilizing fat. So doing both of them does give you the best benefit for all around quality of life and wellness for a healthier, happier life.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself.
I'm Iyan Breese with IB Training.
I'm Casey Arnold with Unparalleled Performance.
We're signing off from Professional Fitness Institute. Have a great day.
Have a great day.